Hello. Well, in the last video, I had essentially said to just go out and make something, just see what happens. But it's always difficult in practice, especially if you don't necessarily know the kind of stuff you want to do, or even if you do know, you don't know how to execute in a way that's satisfactory to you. This is a tough thing. When I turned on the camera stuff here, I had no clue what I was going to do. I've been pacing around trying to figure out what the hell to do with this right here. The answer is just to do it. Making the topic about the fact that you can't come up with topics and to just do them anyways. Because the point is to make trash, okay? Make trash, fail as fast as possible, and learn from it. Just because I don't have a fully planned out topic for this, it doesn't mean I can't use it as an opportunity to practice my rambling and trying to form my thoughts into a more coherent thing without a script, which is something I'm very much trying to learn to get out of, especially when I'm not streaming. Now, I can try to talk about some anime topics. You can see I have a whole bunch of manga stuff here, and I could try to review something. And in fact, I was thinking of reviewing this Kubikiri Cycle, which is, I believe, Nisio Inisan's debut album, but I'm not sure if I wanted to do it here. The endless conundrum of being a content creator, especially a YouTuber, is trying to determine the actual kind of content you want to make and how to best go about doing it in a way that isn't just copying some other person, as if copying some other person is necessarily a bad thing. It's not, but this is the mindset that most YouTubers and content creators, especially the smaller ones like me, will have. The main question is whether you want to try to gear towards content that gets you the most views or the content you want to do. And many people will be given that question and instantly say, no, you shouldn't do this just for views. You should do it out of passion. Only make the stuff that you want to make. And that's great advice that doesn't necessarily mean you will ever get anywhere on a platform, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. You don't have to blow up on YouTube. You don't need to be PewDiePie subscriber levels. All these channels that claim to know the secret way to blow up on YouTube, none of those channels have actually blown up on YouTube for the most part. And that's something you can see a lot of examples of in Super Eye Patch Wolf's new video. This video is not here to tell you some secret formula. This video exists for me to unravel the thoughts in my head of the stuff that I've learned, or stuff that I tell people that I need to apply to myself as well. This video is more for me than it is for you, but maybe it also applies to you. When I go around saying just make something, don't worry about it, just make it and just see what happens, that doesn't necessarily work for everybody. This is why the second channel exists and why I'm not putting it on the main channel. My main channel is all anime content. I don't want to be filling it with all this weird, unfocused garbage. It's an exercise in seeing the limits of what I could do with my own kind of content. The kind of things I can talk about, the kind of stuff I'll sound like I know what I'm talking about, but even if I admit I don't, I at least sound good doing it, and trying out new forms of presentations, which is why you're seeing at this angle a whiteboard that I barely used. I tried recording a video before, rambling about something along the lines of being a programmer has affected my viewing of anime, and it was so disjointed with what I was rambling about to the point where eventually I just turned off the camera and ignored everything I had recorded so far at that point, started working on a scripted version of that thing, and now I don't even know if what the fuck I was trying to ramble about. The core of it is something I don't think I consume anime in the same way other people do. Initially, I thought that from the premise of it's because I have a programmer brain. I don't have an artist brain. I don't know if that's necessarily the case now that I've thought it through, which is tricky to try to continue a video about that when that's kind of the thesis of it. Meanwhile, I'm still working on the script for my new anime science video about Healer Girl, and the more I work on it and the closer I think I'm getting to finishing the script, I end up hating everything I've written so far in the way that it's presented and starting over or finding like 7 other sources which don't really add too much, but I feel like they're important, but in reality I don't know if they necessarily add enough to justify me wasting my time reading through all of it, citing all of it, because I don't know if I'm going to use half of it. And then meanwhile, like every other content creator and person who does any kind of projects in the world, you typically, when you get a little stuck on something, you start thinking of ideas for other things instead to focus on, things that might seem easier, like just turning on the camera and rambling incoherently in front of a whiteboard that you're not using. What is this meant to accomplish? What is the point of it? Do you actually want to be doing this? Do you want to make content? Or do you just want to find something to do? Because I don't have to be trying to do these videos. I don't have to. But I'm somebody, like everybody else, feels like they have a voice that's not necessarily being listened to by the amount of people that they would like. So we make videos, so we make tweets, so we make posts on all these other social media sites, and you have to have a take, it has to be heard. I can't force myself to talk about something that I don't actually care too deeply about. If I cared enough about it, I would have fully scripted out a thing about it and it would come easily to me. The problem is it's hard for you to, at times, selectively choose a topic that you actually give a shit about enough to where it becomes that easy. I could say to myself, I like this show, I want to talk about this show, but actually, when I go to do it, I don't actually know if the thoughts I have are compelling enough that I feel like it's easy for me to put into words. This is a weird recording. I don't care anymore.